Hey everyone, welcome back to another Hashtag Trending with me, Ali Razan. Today, we'll bring you social media's take on the news of Iran's decision to return to the ill-fated nuclear talks and much more. Stay tuned. Just to give you a quick recap of the events of the past 5 to 6 years, the U.S. under Donald Trump unilaterally pulled from the agreement it had signed with Iran and 5 other countries all the way back in 2015 and reintroduced all the previous sanctions and even added up a host of new ones. Just like on Friday, when the U.S. Treasury Department added more sanctions to more Iranian individuals and entities only days after Tehran announced that it would return to the stalled talks. Despite Washington's repeated arrogant behaviors and actions, Tehran is adamant that such measures will bring the Americans nothing but new failures. Anyhow, that was the history part. Now let's get on with Internet's reactions to this whole story, starting with a tweet by Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Ali Bagheri Kani. He wrote, "Had a very serious and constructive dialogue with Enrique Mora on the essential elements for successful negotiations. We agree to start negotiations before the end of November. Exact date would be announced in the course of the next week." A reply to this tweet by Masoud H. reads, "How can you ever trust these people? They've proven their malicious intent over and over again. No point in negotiating with them." Monsieur Lassie tweeted, "The deal was done already. Why does the U.S. get another try?" We have another tweet by Shiraz Ali. He said, "The U.S. should show flexibility. If it really wants to carry JCPOA in a conclusive way, should be a decisive move." Yet it remains rigid as a wall. The Biden administration is actively discussing imposing even more penalties on Tehran. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't exactly consider that a particularly flexible move. After all, a goodwill gesture would be removing all the sanctions even before stepping into the renewed negotiations. The world remembers that it was the Americans who pulled out of the deal unilaterally in 2018. Our next comment comes from Navid Farrohi. He said, "Stop sanctions on Iranians. Despite your efforts, at least 50% of its population won't forget Trump and West's unilateral withdrawals from the JCPOA. Maybe soon Venezuela and Lebanon will have petrol and Britons will pay £2 a liter. Power is shifting." Technical Dude wrote, "The U.S. government is a pathological liar. Doesn't matter Republican or Democrat. All are the same." Harry Haller tweeted, "In the last 200 years, the U.S. government made over 400 ironclad treaties and agreements with the Native Americans and unilaterally broke every single one of them. The U.S. government does not honor its commitments. Don't trust them." Our next tweet comes from Schmidt Gerhard. He wrote, "The U.S. are known for their hegemony and not for fair collaboration." Allow me to correct that phrase to declining hegemony. Look around you. The American glory days are over. They have been taken over by others in almost every aspect they once reigned supreme. Anyhow, one of the preconditions set by Iran is the removal of all sanctions at once and not in stages or under certain circumstances. Our final batch of comments starts with one by Winey on Press TV's website. They wrote, "Removal of all sanctions, not in so-called stage traps, but all at once, permanently and irreversibly. And to make that very clear to these criminals, Iran should consider the set upcoming so-called talks by the end of next month to mid or late December. Because Zionists pushed and tyrants and thugs announced terror sanctions against Iran and Iranians." Another tweet by I Am Boeingist. They wrote, "The United States never gives guarantees, and the guarantees are white speaks with forked tongues." Our final comment of the day comes from Anti-Masonic on Press TV's website. "JCPOA violators can't get close to the talks because if they do, their illegal sanctions will be lifted instantly as brave and smart Iran have completely complied with all conditions stipulated in the assassinated agreement. So they are running away from the truth, burying themselves deeper into the graves of lies and deceptions." And that is going to be it for this edition of Hashtag Trending. Until next time, take care and bye-bye.